The KwaZulu-Natal disaster management teams are back in Ladysmith following devastating floods in the area. It is underwater again after at least 70 people were evacuated amid torrential rains on Monday night. This follows the Christmas Eve flash floods that claimed over 22 lives, with 5 people still missing. They were swept away as heavy rains battered the area. At least 600 houses were damaged, forcing residents to flee their homes. Teams are on high alert as more rain is forecast for tonight. Let's touch base with Newzroom Africa's Karinda Jagmohan, who is at a shelter. Karinda Jagmohan, these scenes becoming all too familiar in the province of KwaZulu-Natal as people are placed again at a community hall. Place yourself for us and tell us what it is you're seeing and hearing.
Certainly, good day to you, Dudu. We are at the Ladysmith Indoor Sports Centre where over 70 people have been evacuated. They have been living in Stedville, which is very close to the Belspruit River that we were at just after those Christmas floods. And it was there that their homes were now just in fear of their homes being washed away. Those residents have been moved to the sports centre for the past 2 days where they have been staying. They are sleeping on thin sponge mats. We're just trying to see if one of the local residents will speak to us, but not very many residents are actually keen to speak on camera. It's been a difficult 2 days for them as well. And so right now, some of the challenges they have is just worrying about where they're going to go. I think one of the residents will be keen to speak to us, and my colleague, Sibongiseni Ngubande, will maybe just assist with the questions and the translation. Thank you, Sibo. Mama, igamana Sibo. Okay. Tell us about the issue of the floods happening over and over again.
Lezi khukhula sezifike kangaki lana and futhi zinihlukumeza kangakanani?
Ikhukhula ziyafika nje unyaka nonyaka masele nezulu. Simukele izinto eziningi, moshakala yonke nokudla nento zokugqoka silahle. Sidinga ukuxhaswa nisize impela wanokudla kwethu. Moshakala yonke nokudla nento zokugqoka zimoshakala silahle ezinye zazo.
And maybe if you can take us back to the Christmas floods, and now you have floods again. Do you think that something needs to be done to make sure that people have better houses and infrastructure?
Ngasilandisa ngalezi khukhula ezenziwe ngoChristmas nalezi esanda kwenzeka manje ezithathe zanibeka la. Mhlawumbe ngokubona kwakho yini edinga ukwenziwa ukuze nilekelele ukuthi lento efana nale ngaphindi yenzeke?
Abesidinga nje isixhasi nisize into elahlekile zonke emoshakele besilahle into zethu zokugqoka zonakele konke nokudla komunakele funeka.
Mama, thank you so much for speaking to us. Thank you. Thank you very much. I know it's not very easy to be on camera. So one of the residents speaking to us there. Thank you to my colleague Sibongiseni Ngubande for assisting us. And of course, it's not a very easy thing to do a camera interview, and especially because many of the residents who are staying here are in tough conditions. We'll just stay here because we want to, of course, protect the privacy of some of those around us. Those behind us are okay with being on camera, but behind me, people are sleeping on behind the camera, people are sleeping on very thin sponge mats, and that's where they've been for the past 2 days. That's where they might be for the next week, because more thunderstorms are expected for the rest of the week in Ladysmith. And we have spoken to small business owners. We'll give you that interview a bit later in the day, but they're also saying that this flood happens very frequently in the January, March months as well. Torrential rain happens. That's the season for it, and this is a flood-prone town. So every year this sort of disaster occurs. But now going forward, some business owners have questioned what is being done as it's becoming more severe. And we saw that happening just after those deadly Christmas floods where more than 20 people died. Fortunately, in this bout of severe weather, there are no fatalities, no injuries, and just to ensure that that people are protected, that is why people are moved to this specific sports center. There are foundations like the Alamdad Foundation that is assisting just in terms of some meals, and just behind us there are mobile clinics as well. So what is happening is also nearby there are some social workers that are essentially just taking reports from the some of the residents there. So one of the ladies that we just spoke to, she's just, of course, giving her report to one of the government workers about her living conditions, and perhaps just to explain what happens going forward. The government worker will explain to her what can happen going forward, because we know that there's a major socio-economic crisis in the country, and as a result, many people can't afford to have proper housing that can withstand the continuous severe weather that we're seeing as a result of climate change that is happening over the years, that we are seeing across, especially in KwaZulu-Natal, the 2022 floods, an example of that. So this is the situation as it stands. The Kokta MEC is in town. She's currently meeting with some representatives of the local municipality, and then she's going to come here to possibly just brief the media, speak to residents, then brief the media about what will happen going forward. But the big question is that now that we are seeing this flood happen again in a space of a few weeks, what will happen in terms of infrastructure? Because this is a flood-prone town, and certainly what is evident is that there needs to be better infrastructure to deal with the continuous severe weather.
Karinda Jagmohan, thank you very much for that comprehensive interview. I beg your pardon, report. Karinda Jagmohan and Sibongiseni Ngubane on the camera there in Ladysmith, KwaZulu-Natal, as more people have been displaced and are now being housed at a sports center in Ladysmith. We'll give you more detail later.